Good evening, good morning to all of you. I'm Prarthana Appaya, and on behalf of FFE, I'm delighted to welcome you to our first virtual event this year. While the pandemic resulted in our annual gala being cancelled in 2020, we are glad that you are able to join us today for our unique program. This evening, you will get an in-depth view of the role that FFE has played in the last 2 decades in a young student's life and the transformational journey that has resulted from FFE's intervention. We want to celebrate and recognize the many successes of FFE's impactful programs that today includes scholarships, skills training, and mentoring. These programs are made possible thanks to generous donors like you. On that note, I would like to extend a warm welcome to FFE's donors, guests, students, alumni, and mentors present here with us today. We have a packed evening ahead, so without further delay, I would like to begin by calling FFE's founder, Dr. Prabhu Goyal.
Good evening. I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to our esteemed donors, guests, FFE scholars, members of the FFE teams in India and the US at this event. As we all know, FFE provides scholarships to the scholarships and professional development support to the financially stressed but academically gifted scholars who wish to pursue engineering, medicine, law, or pharma as careers in India. We started this, Poonam and I, my wife Poonam and I, we started this foundation 27 years ago. It was then that we realized that our wealth was more than enough to last a lifetime. And does wealth bring happiness? Yes, it does. But what brings even more happiness or lasting happiness is when you use your fortune to help others who are less fortunate than yourselves. It is with that realization that we made a commitment to support or to make a meaningful transformation in the lives of over 10,000 children in India. It had to be meaningful. It could not be just a normal transformation. The Foundation for Excellence became the vehicle that we created to help meet our commitment. Today, I have some great news to share with you. Amazon has chosen FFE to be its exclusive partner in India and is providing FFE additional funds to help provide engineering scholarships. For more details of this program, please visit the FFE website. We are very excited about that. Now, as a donor, I know many of us would always want to know, what is the return on investment that I get? We know that we make a meaningful transformation in the lives of the scholar, but what is the return on investment on my dollar? Let's analyze that. An engineering scholar who's supported with $2,800 for his 4-year education, when he graduates, he has a professional lifespan of at least 30 years. And a starting salary of $10,000 a year. And we assume that his salary keeps pace with inflation. With those assumptions, his present lifetime earning capacity is $300,000. That's a 100x return on the donor's investment, 100 times return. Now, if instead we assume a starting salary of $50,000 a year, which is what many of our scholars have also achieved, the return jumps to 500 times on your investment. I know of no other cause where we can get a return on investment of this sort. Now, this is over and above the additional return that we get when the scholar supports the education of his siblings within his family, becomes a role model for others within his community to be able to follow in his footsteps. And further, they take a moral pledge to support 2 others like themselves in their lifetime. This virtuous circle of giving is what will enable FFE ultimately to become a self-funding, self-perpetuated foundation, thanks to our donors today. We could not deliver what FFE is doing today and what it plans to do in the future without your support. Without this incredible FFE family comprised of the donors, the alumni scholars, the volunteers, the mentors, and the team members of FFE, both in India and the US. We both are personally very grateful to be part of this expanding FFE family, this growing FFE family. Today, I'd like to appeal to all our donors to continue to support FFE as they have done in the past, so that we can turn around and provide that huge return on investment on your contribution. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu, and thank you, Poonam. I would now like to invite Sudha Kidao, Managing Trustee of FFE India Trust, to address the gathering. Over to you, Sudha.
Thank you, Prarthana, and good evening, everyone. It's indeed an honor and a privilege to welcome you all to this virtual event this evening. I'd like to take you on a quick journey and an overview of the Foundation for Excellence and give you a good perspective of where we are going. I'd like to start with the first slide, please. The Foundation for Excellence, as you all know, is a 27-year-old organization, as Prabhu mentioned. It's been a real challenging and rewarding journey, thanks to the mission of the foundation. Next slide, please. The mission of the foundation is simple. It is to help students who are academically very bright and gifted, but come from financially disadvantaged backgrounds, and bring about a transformation of their lives through our flagship scholarship program. And as was mentioned, the scholarship program has been running for the last 27 years. It covers 4 areas: engineering and medicine predominantly, and more recently we've added law and B.Pharm. I want to mention at this point that all the money and the donations that go to the foundation, 100% of it goes towards scholarships, as our founders, Dr. Prabhu Goel and Poonam Goel, cover the administrative costs. The foundation administers and implements the scholarship program only in India. And what else do we do? It is the Foundation for Excellence India Trust that is established in Bangalore that administers a national program. Today, the program is in 27 states in India. We also administer associated programs with the scholarship, which is, as Prabhu mentioned, the skills training program and the mentoring program. We have a large and growing scholar community that we manage. And as scholars graduate and become alumni, that is a very vibrant community that we also interact with. And we have a growing base of donors, volunteers, and mentors. FFE India Trust also administers other programs and works with our partners. We raise funds, we conduct events like this. And I'm very glad to say that we conducted 7 events in the last 3 months and were able to participate and interact with over 7,000 of our students and our stakeholders. One very important factor is that FFE has been steadily winning awards and recognition. And this is for our transparency, our accountability, for the impact that we create, and for credibility. And these are very important attributes, not just to the organization, of course it's very important, but also to donors. And how have we managed to accomplish all of this? It's thanks to donors. We have over 40 corporates, partners in India, thousands of individuals who both donate and volunteer for the foundation. And we have over 15 charitable trusts and foundations like the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation, Cognizant Foundation, and others whom we work very closely with. Next slide, please. And where are we today? When you look at this graph, you can see that there's been a steady growth of the way we've been providing scholarships. Today, we ended last year with students, 7,500 students. being awarded scholarships. And over the course of time, over the last 27 years, we've helped over 25,000 students and 32 million in scholarships. I'd like to say that FFE is in India the largest scholarship granting organization in the higher education sector with a pan-India presence. And we're very proud of this achievement. And one of the reasons that Amazon has also partnered with FFE for the Future Engineers program that was recently launched in India. Next slide, please. In terms of scholarships, a vast majority of our scholarships do go to men, and we are working very hard to change that. And last year, we ended with 23% of women being awarded scholarships. We'd like to move that needle to 30%. And we want to make sure that every deserving woman scholar in India knows about FFE and will avail of our scholarship. A vast majority of our students, 69% of our students are engineering students, a smaller cohort are medical students, and the two most recent programs, of course, we hope will grow in time. Last year, as I mentioned, we awarded almost 7,500 scholarships to students, and in a single year, almost close to $4 million in scholarships. Next slide, please. We have an all-India presence. As you can see, there are some states we have a stronger reach, and those are in blue. The ones in red are areas where we need to work harder and get more students into our fold and into our family. But we are today in 27 states. We have accomplished this through a large base of volunteers, including our own alumni, and we have a large network of NGO partners with whom we work very closely. At this time, I'd like to pass on the presentation to Ram Kolavenu, the COO of FFE India Trust. Thank you, and over to you, Ram.
Thank you, Sudha. Good evening and a warm welcome to everyone. As Sudha has mentioned about how we have been growing in terms of the number of students whom we are impacting, it's just not in terms of the volumes, but also with the depth and then the comprehensiveness in which we have been trying to make it much more meaningful. This FFE scholarship is not just a financial support, but a comprehensive student development initiative. What sets us apart from the rest is A, the skilling and training, B, the mentoring, and C, a sustainability which is brought into this program through alumni circle of giving. With more than 2/3 of our scholars coming in from a rural or a semi-urban backgrounds, there have been gaps that have been identified, right from English, logical, soft skills, and so on and so forth. What we have done is put a comprehensive training program over and above the curriculum which they have in the college to bridge these gaps. As in the initial year, in-depth impact study is done on, the assessment is done to identify what are these gaps, and they've been put to various different programs. As they progress through second year and third year, they're exposed to technical training programs, the ones which are not taught in the college, but are sought after by the employers. While 100% of the contribution which is made from the donors like you goes directly to the students as a part of scholarships, through help of Michelson, Susan, and Dell Foundation and Capgemini, we have been able to put these programs together. What we have seen as a drastic improvement in the output of these students. After we initiated these initiatives, the take-home salaries of the students have literally doubled. That's the kind of an impact these programs have been having. As they progress to the third year, there's a one-on-one mentorship program which they go through with industry experts. As we speak, there are about 1,000 mentors who are mentoring our students in third year for various different programs, and we're actually taking them very closer to what the industry is looking at. Through these initiatives, we have made a significant change to the lives of the particular students, and we continue to strive to make it better and better as we learn more. Another key element which differentiates us from others is the entire alumni circle of giving. Students, while they are getting the scholarships, take a pledge that during their lifetime they would support 2 such scholars whenever they can. And this has become a momentum. it's very heartening to see the pillars which have been built through the alumni are going in strength. Last year, even in the pandemic year, we had 12% of our scholarships which we disbursed came through alumni, either their direct contribution or through matching grants of the corporates or through the connects with the corporate social responsibility of the organizations. So we see this momentum becoming more and more larger and becoming sustainable and scalable. There are several different corporates and foundations who have been supporting us, and then our relationship with them is strengthening over a period of time. We have seen these corporates increasing the number of students they are supporting, and the growth which have been seen along with the contribution which is coming from likes of you all and the corporates is making it a very, very strong program. And as you've heard from Prabhu and Sudha, we are very happy to see Amazon also actually tying up with us in the recent times. So this, along with, while we have made long strides in both in volumes and the depth of what we are giving, I think there is a long way to go still. We had to turn down 50% of the eligible scholarships last year because of the paucity of funds. Our target this year is to reach out to 10,000 students and support them, and I'm sure with the collective help we'll be able to do that. All this we accomplished with a small team of 30 employees in India and our team in the US. We've tried to keep ourselves very lean and mean. We have automated everything right from the time the scholarships the people applying for scholarships all the way through. So for any questions, please drop in your questions on your question and answer box, and we're happy to answer that at the end of the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Ram, and thank you, Sudha, for providing all of us an update on FFE. Moving on, today I would like to welcome FFE scholars and an alumnus who are here with us this evening. They are joining us from different locations of India, some being very remote. They will be sharing their journey with us, right from receiving their first scholarship through graduation and beyond. Despite connectivity issues they may have faced while recording their stories, you will find them to be truly inspiring. You will have a chance to interact with each of them at the panel discussion at the end of the event. Please post any of your comments or questions in the Q&A box that is visible at the bottom of your screen. You will now hear from Sakshi Hegde, who received her first scholarship in 2021.
Good evening everyone. I am Sakshi Hegde, daughter of Timanna Hegde, and I hail from Udupi. Currently, I am pursuing first year MBBS course here at Karnataka Institute of Medical Sciences, Hubballi. Mine is a small family of 4 members. My father is a farmer. My mother supports him. I qualified NEET 2020 and got admission to one of the prestigious government medical colleges of Karnataka. I completed my 10th with 10 CGPA and 12th with 94%. And I strongly believe that one day I will serve my nation sincerely and help my community to get better health facilities through various government schemes. I came to know about FFE through online, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank the immensely supportive FFE family for not only helping us financially, but also making us more competent in this highly evolving medical field through constantly conducted medical webinars. The words from well-known experienced doctors not only inspired us, but gave us much more understanding of the various diseases. And most importantly, I would promise that one day I will return to this family and help my juniors the way you did. Thank you.
Let us now welcome Sujit Kumar, who is beginning his 3rd year BTech, but who bagged an internship while in his 2nd year of engineering.
Hello everyone, my name is Sujit Kumar. I live with my family in Nellore, Andhra Pradesh. My father works as an electrician in a clothes shop, and his monthly income varies from 7 to 10,000 depending on season and sales. My mother is a housewife who has been constantly helping me and supporting me right from my childhood. I worked hard constantly without losing my focus, and this paved me a way to enter into IIT Madras. FFE not only supported us financially by offering the scholarship, it also provides us some courses. So these courses started from my first year itself, where I had a very little idea on the profile on which I could find my career. There was an aptitude course taught for us, and there were pretty much good logics which could be used in aptitude or reasoning to solve the problems quickly. And these logics gave me an edge over my peers to excel in my internship exams conducted by some companies in our campus. There was also a soft skills session conducted by FFE training program, in which there were very good measures to take care while answering interview, and this helped me to answer my interview questions in a structured manner. I got an internship offer at Honeywell, an international company, which will commence in summer 2022. So I could definitely say that without this FFE training program, I couldn't get access to all these useful resources free of cost. My parents were pretty happy about the internship, and the payment it offers 70,000 monthly for 2 months. So they are very confident that I would get a good job and raise our financial standards. So apart from the stipend the company offers, I am very much happy and excited to join the company, as it offers a great exposure to real world problems and enhance my skills. Thank you.
We next have Khushbu Verma, a proud third-year engineering student, and you will see that from a remote village of Balia district in Uttar Pradesh, who is first in her family and village to attend college.
Hello everyone, I am Khushbu Verma. I am pursuing my third year computer science and engineering from Motilal Nehru National Institute of Technology, Allahabad. As I am the first one from my family and from my whole village who is studying in such a great institute, so I grew up in Balia district of Uttar Pradesh. My family has always struggled for our livelihood, as my father is the only working member supporting a family of 8 members. I completed my schooling till 5th standard from a local government school, and after that I joined Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. I completed my high school in Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, and I am very happy to share with you all that I was one of the topper of my school. Again in 10th standard, I was selected for Dakshina scholarship. As a result of this scholarship, I prepared for JEE along with my 11th and 12th standard and secured a good rank and was selected at good college. Although I was happy, the thought of how will my parents afford my college education was constantly bothering me. For first semester, my father borrowed money from our relatives. That's when I got to know about FFE scholarship from my classmates. I applied and was selected for this scholarship. I was relieved to know that from today onwards, I did not worry about my fees. FFE helped me to continue my studies smoothly. FFE has not only helped me to pay my institute fee, but also helped last year when COVID affected everyone. My family was really in very bad condition, and at that time also I got help from FFE. For this, not only me, my whole family is grateful to FFE. I hope one day I will be able to help the students like me to achieve their goals, just as you have helped me.
Let us now hear from Mohan Kumar, who is in his final year of engineering and will soon transition into the corporate world.
Hello everyone, I am Mohan. I come from a small village named Mejirganj, which is in Bihar. I studied in Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya Madhubani till class 10th. Thereafter, I moved to LN Kota for JEE preparation. My father is a farmer and earns nearly 12 to 15,000 per month. With this income, it was hard to manage family expenses and our education at the same time. I studied hard and got 75% scholarship for my JEE preparation from LN Kota. Later, I also got free hostel there. After 2 years of hard work, I was able to get an All India rank of 1961 in JEE 2019. I still remember the happiness on the face of my family on the day of my result. I got computer science and engineering at IIT Guwahati. It was difficult for my family to afford my higher education, and I had to take an education loan. Later, FFE's support reduced our financial burden and helped me to focus on my studies. I had a dream for my family to provide them a better house and better life, so I worked hard in my college and maintained a good CPI, and I got a good internship in my third year at Sprinkler. After completing my internship, I received a pre-placement offer from the same company. I got a CTC of 40 lakh per annum, that is nearly 20 times of my annual family income. Today, I am inspiration for many of the students. My mother cried in happiness when she heard my salary. I cannot express my feeling in words. My future plan is to work and gain experience for a few years and then start my own company. I am grateful to everyone who helped me in my journey. Currently, I am in my final year and working on my personality development and also improving my coding skills so that I would get a fast promotion in my job. The scholarship from FFE was a good help for me and my family. Otherwise, I would have to do some part-time work for managing my daily expenses. Going ahead, I will also help students like me who are talented and in need of such support. Thank you.
And finally, we are pleased to introduce you to you all one of FFE's committed ambassadors, Srivatsan Raghavan.
Namaste. Good morning, good evening to all the members of the FFE family who's joined us today. It's been an absolute honor and privilege to be talking to you all about my journey all these years. From 2001, when I was a FFE scholar, to an alumni, to a donor, and today an ambassador, where I work with the FFE family in reaching out to our personal and professional connects. One word that summarizes this journey is magical. And the fact is, FFE has been at the core of this stupendous journey. I was born and brought up in Chennai, come from a very humble middle class background. My father was an accountant in a private company. My mother was a homemaker. I was the only child. Had a very tough childhood, but there were few divine interventions, I would call, a sort of magic hand that kind of helped me through the critical stages of my life. Right? That's when the first divine intervention happened. I was in my 9th class and we almost decided to move to the government school. And know what? My school instituted the first ever merit cum need scholarship in their history, and I was the first recipient of the scholarship. I was glad that I managed to be a school topper in my 10th class board exam and secured a zonal level rank for my school. I secured 95.75% in my 12th board exams and got an admission at BITS Pilani. We managed the first year fees through crowdsourcing within the larger family, but my father lost his job when I was in my first year, and we had absolutely no clue about how we are going to manage the fees for the subsequent years. Collateral-free education loans were absolutely unheard of those days. Right? So that was when the second divine intervention happened. My mother happened to meet a random stranger at a hospital and learnt about FFE from her. And when I came down to Chennai for my semester holidays, we went and met the FFE facilitator, Lalita madam, who helped us with the procedure and some context on what FFE does. I can confidently say I would not have been able to graduate from BITS Pilani without the support of FFE. The challenges I faced early in my life has made a deep impact inside me, and I wanted to contribute in whatever little way possible towards the cause of education of needy students, because it has got the potential to transform the lives of not just the scholar but their entire family. And I did not have to look beyond FFE to be able to create that kind of an impact. I became a donor ever since I graduated, taking baby steps. Recently, I just started adopting scholars, and my first scholar graduated in 2018 and is now employed with TCS. I'm grateful that today I'm in a position to adopt 2 scholars, and the first one is a NIT Agartala graduate who graduated recently and got placed in Amdocs Chennai. The second one is in his second year engineering. I'm glad that I got an opportunity to play the role of a proverbial squirrel in the circle of giving through FFE. With a growing alumni network with every passing year, FFE is becoming a catalyst in transforming the lives of several thousands of scholars. And the circle of giving is a sort of secret sauce that can potentially ensure FFE's mission becomes self-sustainable very soon.
What you just heard was the experience of a typical FFE scholar whose determination to succeed despite all odds is both evident and motivating. Thank you all for sharing your journey with us. Please post any comments or questions in the Q&A box that is visible at the bottom of your screen. Moving on, FFE's Beyond Scholarship program also includes an opportunity for students to be mentored one-on-one by an industry expert to enhance their employability. Currently, we have more than 1,000 mentors who have enrolled in our program. Please meet FFE alumni mentor Ranjit Kagati and his mentee, FFE scholar Mochi Kuldeep.
Hello, good evening everyone. My name is Ranjit Kagati. I was an FFE scholar during my engineering from NITK Surathkal between the years 2001 and 2005. And now I'm working for Google in California. FFE played a key role in my success and I wanted to contribute back to the cause. I have personally sponsored several FFE scholars and I wanted to have an even more direct impact. I found that the FFE mentorship program was a great opportunity for that. Also, how often we wonder, I wish someone told me this when I was in college, right? I wanted to be that someone for FFE scholars, and that's why I signed up for the mentorship program. FFE paid me with Kuldeep as part of this mentorship. Kuldeep, can you please introduce yourself and tell us why you signed up for the mentorship program?
Good evening everyone, my name is Mochi Kuldeep. I come from a small village in Gujarat. I did my early education from my village itself. After that, I have completed my high school from Bodeli. Currently, I am pursuing my computer science degree from the Maharaja Sayajirao University, Vadodara. My main purpose to take the FFE mentorship program is to take the guidance and the advice from the expert who is currently working in the IT field. And I am so much thankful to FFE for providing me such a good mentor who is currently working in a Google.
FFE has a very structured mentorship program. It starts with a self-assessment questionnaire for the mentee. This sets a baseline of skill sets and the areas of improvement. We set up a video call every 2 weeks, and in each session it involved some amount of pre-work and discussion of case studies, sharing personal experiences during the call, and also follow-up assignment on topics such as time management, decision-making, communication skills, etc. After a few sessions with Kuldeep, what we realized is we wanted to spend more time on interview preparations. So we spent time on resume and LinkedIn profile review, preparing a GitHub page. It was a great joy for me to see Kuldeep benefiting from the mentorship. One day, out of the blue, he called me to inform that he got placed in Oracle with a starting salary of 4 times that of my starting salary. It's a great honor for me to be part of Kuldeep's journey. In the end, I would like to say it only takes about 1 hour per week to be a mentor, but it will have a profound impact on FFE scholars' life and career. Some of them will even remember you throughout their life for this. So I definitely encourage you to sign up to be a FFE mentor and make a big difference in an FFE scholar's life. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranjit and Kuldeep. FFE's 27-year journey of growth and impact has been made possible thanks to donors like you all. We would like to now hear from one of FFE's donor in New York, Anita Balaji. She is also joined by her parents in India, Mr. and Mrs. Balaji, who have been FFE's volunteers for over 2 decades.
Good evening to everyone joining us in the US.
And good morning to everyone in India.
My name is Anita. I'm in New York, and I'm joined by my parents, Usha and Balaji, from Chennai. We are so happy to be here with you today. And FFE is a cause that is near and dear to our family and has been for decades.
My association with FFE goes back to the mid-90s when I joined as a facilitator. Our family staunchly believes in the importance of education and in equal opportunity for a good education. FFE fully embodies this value. Through the hundreds of scholars we have worked with, we have come across many deserving students like Vamsi Krishna, whose parents were farmers from Andhra Pradesh, struggling to educate their children with meager income. It is heart-wrenching to listen to their voice. On the other hand, we have also seen before our very eyes that educating these brilliant minds transforms not just the lives of the scholars, but also their entire family.
So I got involved with FFE going back to when I was in college. I would see my mother spend countless hours on identifying the most deserving candidates, through interviewing them at home, through traveling long distances to meet with the scholars' families, speaking with their professors to evaluate their academic performance, etc. And seeing FFE in action at home forged a lifelong connection for me with the organization. So when I graduated college, I started what was an early version of the New York chapter of FFE back in 2002. Then in 2015, with the big effort from Ronji and others, I was honored to be a part of the team that reestablished the New York chapter. For our family, it has been really meaningful, especially living thousands of miles apart, to have this common noble cause to contribute to, whether as a facilitator, a donor, or as a volunteer.
FFE is truly a family affair for us. While my wife Usha has done the lion's share of the work of identifying the best candidates, I have been delighted to play a part in recent years with directing the scholarships to students at MIT, Madras Institute of Technology, my alma mater, through leveraging my connections with the MIT Alumni Association, the professors, and the administration. Through the FFE scholarships, we've been able to educate over 1,000 engineers at MIT, including 600 women engineers, a cause that is dear to my daughter's heart. It is worth noting that FFE goes the extra mile with their scholars and families in so many ways. For example, when the entire livelihoods were wiped out by the COVID pandemic, FFE stepped up to provide extra monetary support. Over the past 25 plus years, we have been impressed and proud of how the highly professional and dedicated team at FFE has stayed true to the original vision, but adapted the execution for the changing times.
Listen, I know there are so many great and truly needy causes in India, and I know we all get dozens of requests to help our less privileged fellow Indians. For our family, FFE resonates strongly because it allows the donors to expand the benefit of each dollar of donation. You haven't just given the woman a fish, you've taught her how to fish. You've given the scholar the gift of education and a path out of the vicious circle of poverty, all for the mere cost of a daily cup of coffee.
We urge you to dig deep into your hearts and into your pockets to donate to this deserving cause. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen in the US, and a very good early morning to my friends and well-wishers in India. I am Rohinton Mehta, and I am truly blessed to be an active donor to Foundation for Excellence. The moment of great pride came for me when I helped establish the New York chapter of FFE way back in 2015-16 timeframe. Since then, FFE has made rapid strides in its growth. In addition to regularly donating funds to Foundation for Excellence, which helped award scholarships to 7 students across various IITs, in 2016, my wife, Dr. Monica Mehta, and I established a $200,000 endowment fund that helped award scholarships to 56 students at IIT Bombay, my alma mater, under the joint FFE India Trust and IIT Bombay Alumni Association FAP program. Let me take a moment to outline the huge impact that was affected by these FFE scholars who received the Erach and Meru Mehta Memorial Scholarship. 60,000 rupees was the annual family income of these students, or about $800. Nearly 2/3 of the students secured prestigious jobs in multinationals and large Indian corporates like Samsung, Procter & Gamble, Apple, IIFL, and others. The average salary of these graduates who received the FFE scholarship was 20 lakh rupees, or well over $25,000. 1/3 of the students went abroad for higher studies, mainly to the US. Look at the force multiplier that these scholarships achieved. A scholar on graduation, on average, was earning more than 30 times over their family's income. In 4 years, in one fell swoop, their families moved from poverty to middle class. What are you waiting for? These are the kind of things that will help transform India. We have all been more fortunate than we ever thought. If ever there was a time, especially during the COVID pandemic, the time is now to give back. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Balaji, Ms. Anita Balaji, and Mr. Rohinton Mehta for your constant support to FFE. I would now like to call upon Mr. Venk Shukla, board member and past president of FFE US.
Thank you all for sparing us your valuable time on a weekend. I'm Venkatesh Shukla, and I've really been fortunate to be associated with FFE since its beginning. You heard about FFE from the perspective of students and donors and volunteers and mentors. Now we want to hear from you. Unless you're already persuaded that this cause deserves your support. And here are a few reasons that you should support FFE. So, Prabhu talked about the high return on investments that educating a brilliant child delivers. FFE is unique in two other respects. First, we ensure that 100% of your donation goes to a scholar, as Prabhu takes care of all the administrative expenses. So there's no other nonprofit in the world that can give you that assurance. Also, there are a lot of nonprofits that do good work, but it is always a one-way street. You need to keep giving them the money so that they can continue with their work. Not so with FFE. It has a potential, as you saw, of become self-sustaining over the years. Every scholar makes an honor pledge to support 2 such scholars when he or she is in a position to do so. And you heard from Ram that 1/3 of all scholarships that we give, are either supported directly by our scholars or through their intervention with the companies they work in. That's the kind of self-sustainability we are talking about. Next slide, please. Yeah. So we do need your support. Our goal this year is to give scholarships to 10,000 students. Our goal also is to dramatically increase the number of female scholars. We cannot do this without your support. Please give. Next slide, please. As a volunteer, Anita Balaji said earlier, it doesn't cost a lot to transform a bright kid's life in India. Just the cost of a cup of coffee a day. Please adopt a scholar. It costs only $2,800 for 4 years of engineering. So that's my pitch. And we want to hear from you now. So Pratna, up to you.
Yeah, thank you, Venk. May I now request the panelists to turn on your videos. The floor is now open for questions. You could either post your questions in the Q&A box like a few of you have done, or alternatively, you can raise your virtual hand. There is an option to do that on your screen, and we will begin the Q&A session. So I see, there's one question that I would just like to read out aloud by Sunita Saurabhji. Did scholars have to study online during the pandemic, and did FFE provide the necessary technical equipment? Sudha, would you like to take that question?
Yes. Students did find it very challenging, many of them in very remote locations. And what we did is to reach out to donors to see if they would offer support. Unfortunately, it was not something that we can deliver very quickly, but there were about 300 students to whom we were able to provide laptops that was given as a donation by a specific donor. As you all know, our students are, they attend over 250 engineering colleges, as many medical colleges in 27 states in India. They're widely distributed. So we have to prepare in order to be able to provide devices for learning as well as connectivity. And we are now reaching out to donors for additional funds to support online learning. But I do want to add that over time, students were able to access online classes. Many of them had to share devices at home with other family members. Connectivity was a problem, and so learning was a challenge in this in the last year.
Thank you, Sudha. There's another question that I just want to read out. Mr. Mahendra Mishra, he has asked us, it looks like the scholars contact FFE. Does FFE find them any other way? Ram, would you like to address this, please?
So yeah, we're in constant touch with our students, and probably some of our students can answer that as well. So there are this training programs and everything which we have set up, or the entire duration of their study makes us to be in connect with them on a regular basis. Second, we have 500 plus volunteers who are actually connected to each and every scholar directly or indirectly. So we call them facilitators. They are in constant touch with the scholars, and they actually come from the same region. So in that way, there are multiple ways. One is the volunteers, one is the training programs, and then we have our strong alumni. You heard from Ranjit how they are actually hand-holding some of these students from a mentorship perspective as well. In that sense, our connect with them is much larger. I know Mr. Balaji is here as well. So he's one of those, he and Shah Balaji are the ones who are on constant touch. Maybe we can have a word with them on how they interact with the students. Mr. Balaji, you want to say something about your connect on how you stay in touch with the students? Sorry, Mr. Balaji, you're on mute. Could you unmute yourself? Yeah.
We could perhaps go back to them.
Yeah.
In a while.
Yeah. Or Anita is here. She has seen that happening day in and day out in her childhood as well. If you want to tell how they stay connected with the students, Anita.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to. I think my parents are having some technical difficulties. Appa, do you want to unmute? They're asking about how, as facilitators, you keep in contact with the students and follow their progress, over the time that they're scholars. Anyway, look, I think from what from what I've seen, the connection starts at the very beginning when they're trying to identify the scholars, and they spend a lot of time trying to make sure they understand the both the academic as well as the family background of the scholars. And then every semester, my parents would keep in touch with the scholars to see how they've performed, not just in the academic front, but also, how they're progressing, whether it's for internship searches or job searches, etc. And then, every year, obviously, they have to reapply for the scholarship, but they keep in touch with them, call it every couple of months, just to keep posted on their progress.
Thank you, Anita.
Yeah.
May I just make a very quick remark about FFE is also extremely flexible. And several years, about 4 years ago, they helped me in connecting with my alma mater, who had some very inflexible programs for scholarships. And it opened up a whole lot of different avenues for scholarships under a joint venture that they had between FFE India Trust and IIT Bombay Alumni Association's financial aid program. So this could also be used at other engineering colleges if a donor specifically wants to direct his or her donation. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We have another question here. Is there a way to earmark donation for female scholars? Minoo, would you like to take that?
Yes, actually, we can take donors' choice into consideration. They can choose between which program they want to donate to. They can choose, the type of, the states they want to support the students from. If they want to support a female student versus male student, they can, let us know that as well. And, we prefer when you're choosing the students and are being very specific that you adopt a scholar. That way, we feel comfortable that we are working in partnership with you. So yeah, all those options are possible. So when you are sending your donation or requesting support, please send us email with your choices, and we make a note of those choices and work very closely with our FFE India team to make sure that those choices are taken care of at the time of assigning the scholars.
Thank you, Minoo. Mr. Paresh had another question. Any thoughts of replicating this model for skills training?
So as far as skills training is concerned, we have sort of, for engineering students, we probably have created a model now. It's working. A portion of that is valid for medical students as well as for law and BPharm students. So we're expanding it to those places. We started off with some pilots in the medical side, and we're starting to see if, how we grow it over the coming years. There are models which can be replicatable. There are models which need to be evolved. We are constantly looking out for what are the things which will make them much more robust. We are bringing in, even for engineering as well, we are bringing in new technical training programs. Akshay from Amazon is in the in today as well. So I think that Amazon model is being built, which will probably, portions of that could be replicatable for every engineering student, and some of them probably for everyone across. So the answer is yes, it is replicatable. B, we need, but there are nuances in each of those areas. Within engineering also, there are specific streams which need a different kind of a training program.
And one additional point I'd like to make is that we would need specific funds for the skilling component, because all of these require a lot of resources. So as long as we get donations, then we are able to implement the programs, because now we've learned how to do this effectively for students across India.
Thank you, Ram. Thank you, Sudha. I just see another question on the chat box where one of the participants have asked us where LHMC in India is. LHMC in India is in Delhi. And what is CMI and the FLY Fly program? Sudha, would you like to
yes. Yes. So this is a program that actually is supported right now through a very generous grant from Ron Mehta, and who's here with us today. And it is a program between CMI and IIT Gandhinagar, where we're providing, it's called Find the Leader in You. and it is to provide non-cognitive leadership skills to FFE scholars. This is the Competitive Mindfulness Institute. I know that the idea began in the US, but this is a program that has been very effective for FFE scholars. We ran a pilot last year, and students found that they learned skills, their confidence levels, their self-esteem, everything changed drastically after going through this intense program. And I'm thankful to Ron for funding this leadership program for a large cohort of FFE scholars this year. And it is now being offered both in English as well as in Hindi, so that students learn the skills that they're more in a language that they're most comfortable with. And Ram and Shubha or anybody else, if you'd like to add to what I've just said. About 1,000 students will have access to the flight program, to the leadership program.
Yeah, you covered it all. If Ron has anything to add to that.
No, I'm very grateful that FFE decided to use this program that I am a very strong supporter of, because they really do great work. Thank you.
And it's wonderful that students from anywhere in India today, thanks to the possibilities of leveraging technology, everybody is able to access this program irrespective of location.
We have with us even the scholars who shared their journey, the alumnus, Srivatsan Raghavan, the mentor, Ranjit, the mentee, Mochi Kuldeep. So if any of you have any questions you would like to ask them, they're open to answering them as well. All right. So if we have no more questions, then in case you have any and we have not covered it now, or you would like to ask any questions after the event, please feel free to email either Anil or Minoo, and we will be happy to answer them. And now, if there are no more questions, then I would like to call upon Minoo Gupta, President of FFE US.
Pratha, Ms. Mahendra just raised his hand. Can you check whether?
Yeah, sure. I will allow to talk. Yeah, Mr. Mishra, you can unmute yourself. We've given access.
I have unmuted. I wish to donate in memory of my wife. She was big supporter of underprivileged girls. Is there any way that my donation goes to a girl?
Yes, yes, it will. We can work on that. Sudha, Ram, would you like to?
Yes. So what we'd like to do, Mr. Mishra, thank you, for letting us know about your interest in supporting a girl, a woman scholar. We will take that consideration. We will note your request, and as applications come in, we'll do our best to honor your preference. And we are putting out, putting in a lot of resources and effort to find as many women scholars that we can support. And we hope we'll be able to, honor your request.
Do you let us know whom you are supporting? Would we be able to get that name of the girl?
Absolutely. Yes. What will happen is that we will give you details about the student and their families. And every year you will get a very detailed report about their progress. We will also connect you virtually to them whenever it's convenient, so that you will also know progress academically, how are they doing at home, and we will follow them as students, and we will continue to stay in touch with them as alumni. So it's a very long-term association that you will have with your student that you support.
Thank you very much.
If there are no more questions, then I would like to call upon Minoo Gupta, President of FFE US.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Pratna, and all of the FFE team, extended family that we are, for their time and dedication for today's event. We are really grateful that you chose to spend your evening being curious listening, and learning about FFE. We are sincerely appreciate your support and encouragement, online today and outside as donors and supporters for many, many years. I have been associated with the foundation since 2012 as a donor, volunteer, and president since 2014. It's really humbling to see the significant progress made in the most challenging of years. And a big thank you to all of our committed donors. Without your support, this will not be possible. Our scholars' passion and relentless drive to succeed keeps us all really motivated and to set higher goals every year. And we hope that you will join us on this mission to pay it forward with an ROI of 100x per scholar and help each of them to become a force multiplier of transforming lives. We encourage you to adopt a scholar today. As the mission cannot be achieved alone, we request your support more than ever before by becoming a proverbial squirrel, like one of our ambassadors said, or a divine intervention for young adults and helping them achieve their dreams. Thank you so much, and we look forward to having you join the FFE family.